Shawty really bad. Words of refrain, something like a bad. Well, I want your love, call me when you can. Girl, going up, going up.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be going over a deep dive of Skarmory. Now, Skarmory is a steel and flying type, so you'll notice later when we do more steel types, but steel actually has a ton of resistances. But first, let's go over the moveset that you're going to want to use on Skarmory, and that's going to be Air Slash, which is a pretty high damage, pretty high energy move. It is a little slower than some of the other moves, but it's a little give and take. So let's go into the charge moves, and you're going to be wanting using Sky Attack and Flash Cannon. So Sky Attack is going to just be that extra flying damage against a lot of Pokemon, and then Flash Cannon is, well, it's going to take longer to get to, but it is a high damage steel move in case steel is the super effective type that you're looking for. So for Sky Attack, it's going to take 5 air slashes to get to, and flying is super effective against fighting, grass, and bug. And then Flash Cannon, like I said, it's going to be your harder hitting move, but it's going to take a lot to get to, and it's going to take 8 air slashes to get to. And that's going to be good against Ice Rock and Fairy. So Skarmory, a perfect PvP IV for Skarmory is 0, 15, 14. And with those IVs, you can get to level 27 and then get one more tick, and that's 27 and a half. And so let's go over the resistances. Like I said, Steel, a ton of resistances, and Flying also going to give a little bit of extra resistances. So your double resistant against bug, also your double resistance against grass, and double resistant against poison. So any of those 3 are not going to be doing anything to, pretty much not going to be doing anything to you. And if you play against those classes or those types, you can definitely just farm them down, get a lot of energy for the next matchup. Some of the other things that it resists are Dragon, Fairy, Flying, Psychic, Normal, Ground, and Steel. So like I said, a ton of resistances. And it's weak against only Fire and Electric. So ton of resistances, very few weaknesses, and that's what makes Skarmory such a safe Pokemon to have on your team. Plus he's pretty bulky and does a lot of damage. So I put down that he is a safe switch, and that is because since he has such a ton of resistances, the odds of running into the things that it's weak against are pretty low. But in saying that, Skarmory is such a highly used Pokemon that a lot of teams of 6 will bring an electric type or something that hard resists the Skarmory movesets. So one other thing I wanted to note, in our PvP Beginnings video, we talked a lot about side grades. Actually, one of the good side grades for Skarmory is Bronzong. Now, neither of these should be too hard to find in the wild, but let's say you have a Bronzong with really good IVs compared to a Skarmory, you may want to go with that Bronzong, because since it is that steel type, it's going to be having a lot of the same resistances as Skarmory. So a lot of its matchups are actually going to be the same. So let's go over into what Skarmory is good against. So Skarmory is good against Frostlass, Gallade, Alolan Muck, Venusaur, Tropius, and Fortress. Now, a lot of those matchups, you're good against them because you have the double resistant plus super effective damage, so you're just going to be able to farm, like I said, farm them down and have enough energy to where in the next matchup maybe you can do 2 Sky Attacks, or even throw in a Flash Cannon. So what that does is, with one Pokemon, if you're able to take out another Pokemon completely and take 1 or 2 shields off the Pokemon following that, obviously that's a really insane play and gives you such a tempo advantage. Like, you'll be up on shields, Pokemon switch advantage, you just gained so much tempo in the matchup. The things that are good against Skarmory, so Skarmory's bad against, are the electric types, notably Probopass, Melmetal, and Lantern, along with the tanky Bastiodon. So what Skarmory is bad against is, there's a theme here, is really bad against the tanks. So the tanks are actually going to be resisting the air slashes and sky attacks, and they're not going to be taking very much damage from Flash Cannon as well. So if you see a lot of tanks, even if you see like 2 tanks on an opponent's team, really you should be wary of Skarmory. And even starting Skarmory in those situations would be pretty good, because then you can swap out if you are in a bad matchup. And if they so happen to switch into one of the tanks, you'll have the switch advantage and be able to switch out. Just be careful in these matchups, because if you are stuck in them, they're going to do the same thing that you do to the grasses and bugs and so forth. They're going to be able to farm you completely and have the energy to use against the next Pokemon you bring in. So that's it for Skarmory. If you want to get the next deep dive video, go ahead and subscribe. And like always, let me know if I missed anything. And thanks for watching.